The words Israel and Jew are words that most people today are familiar with, whether it be their associations with the country of Israel or the religious group known as the Jews. Though these words find themselves in the modern day catalog, they are not necessarily used in the historical context of the past. This is important for historians, theologians, and even simple worshippers of faith to understand if they want to establish a broader and even more accurate narrative of these terms today. The word that is first for this discussion is the term Israel. This first thing that comes to mind is likely the nation of Israel, but you may find yourself asking, where does that name come from? If not, that's fine too. I'll tell you anyway. Israel comes from the Torah or Old Testament, from Genesis or Bereshit, where Jacob wrestles with God in the Bible and is renamed to Israel. This is what leads Jacob or Israel's 12 descendants to be known as Israelites. To give even more Old Testament specific context, these descendants later formed a block with one another and became the kingdom of Israel, which was later split into two kingdoms. This did not happen in the Torah, but it is a piece that can be used to establish this narrative. The word Jew today relates to the religious group that practices Judaism. Now, the first appearance of this word comes from 2 Kings in the Christians' Old Testament Bible, where the king of Judah's people, known as the Jews, were driven out of a place called Elath. Going back into Israel's 12 sons, one of them was named Judah. Judah's far-out descendants later received land for which they lived on. These people were known as Jews. This, however, is also only found in the Old Testament, not the Torah, but still important to know the origin of the word. To simplify, Jews equal descendants of Judah, and Judah equals son of Israel. As you can understand so far, the origin for these words, Israel and Jew, are indeed closely related, but they are not the same. You can look at it just like the biblical lore. You have the parent term, Israel, and its spawn term, Jew. Now looking at the modern usage of these terms, we can see that they are also not very far apart, as the largest density of Jews can be found within the country of Israel. The country today primarily defines itself as a nation state as of 2018, which is currently actively being contested, but the context of such is irrelevant to the point of this video. The recent definition of the land stems from the basic laws passed by the Knesset, which is the legislative branch of the nation of Israel within the country of Israel. This law specifically outlines Israel as the historical homeland of the Jewish people, and the nation's purpose is to secure the welfare of the Jewish people in addition to its citizens. Before I really contrast the differences between the past and now with these terms, I would really want to expand more on Judaism and Jews to show how it plays in today. Judaism today is considered a religion, and its followers known as Jews. They believe in a singular high God that created the world, the knowledge of which comes from the Torah. They worship at home or in synagogues, which is their holy place. Jewish people today actively trace their cultural traditions from the biblical Israelites, as you remember Jacob and his sons. This can be seen in the Jewish people's holy days, which have a deeper connection to Israelites of the Torah. Passover, Shabbat, Yom Kippur, alongside others, are not specifically oriented for Judah's descendants, which the word Jew implies, rather all of Jacob's descendants, including Judah's other 11 brothers. The holy days represent a shared struggle of Jacob Israel's descendants, and it carries over into the religion today. Observing more of the present, there are many people who hold the belief that Israel is a nation that serves Jews, and that being Jewish makes your identity directly correlated with Israel. This ideology is loosely known as Zionism. In relation to the Torah and Old Testament Bible, however, this is not parallel to the past definitions of Jew and Israel. Israel should be a nation for all of Jacob's descendants, not just Judah. This would mean that either the current uses of these words are just a historical coincidence or misinterpreted modernly. Either way, there is a lot of confusion presently, and much more could actually be discussed in detail about these two terms. However, this video really just aimed to inform people around the general complexity that words develop over time, especially when people are trying to paint historical narratives like historians and theologians or religious folks. It's hard to say when these terms converged in meaning and what this can mean for the Abrahamic religions when trying to understand the most relevant definition to use at any given time. Regardless, it is known that misunderstanding of these terms can lead to confusion of meaning or context, to which this video's purpose is hopefully fulfilled.
זה גוי היהודי! זה גוי! שתי מקלות של מטאטא של סנוקר הולכות! אדם גנב! אדם גנב!
מה יש לך? למה את בוכה? אין לי מושג!
Don't really matter, 5 or 66, Israel's descendants were said to be born rich. Everybody knows that Jacob had 12 sons, but the people like to claim it that Judah's the only one. 11 others missing, none accounted in the will, forgotten and forsaken by the nation of Israel. The terms today just don't make no sense. If they did, the other sons probably need recompense. Moses of Judah's brother Levi somehow a Jew, or you could say he's an Israelite too. I don't really know, but we need something new. If you enjoyed the video, hit the red then the blue.